What's up, YouTube? I got a banger of a video for you guys today. I'm going to be giving you a full tutorial on how to set up a completely automated cold caller. Cold calling is something all us business owners hate doing. One of the worst parts is how much time it takes out of your day. An hour goes by and you've done like 6 cold calls and you're confused on how you've wasted so much time. But not anymore. This automation uses make.com, VAPI, Apollo, Twilio, and Calendly to make a completely hands-free automation. With this automation, it's possible to do 20 cold calls per minute, way faster than any human can do. To preface this whole video, I just want to say if you don't want to go through the hassle and the headache of building this automation for your own business, you can go ahead and contact us here at Perennial and we can build it for you. Go ahead and check out the link in the description if you're interested in that. But with all that said, let's go ahead and get into the tutorial. Alright guys, we are actually going to start this video on Apollo. Now, if you don't know what Apollo is, it is basically, I only use it as a lead collector. It has automations built into it and such, but for today's purpose, we're only going to use it as a lead collector. Now, what I like to do is filter down as much as possible to your ideal client. These are my filters. You can copy them if you like, and I'll explain each and every one of them. My first one is location. I picked Miami because it's a very new, flourishing city. A lot of young business owners and people who live there, I find more often are willing to put upgrades into their business, add AI, start innovating. People are just looking to get that next step ahead against their competitors. Where if I find someone in a small town in the middle of Missouri and it's more of a mom and pop kind of family business, they're not as open to upgrading and innovating and doing new things for their business. So that's why I picked Miami. I do 11 to 50 employees because I need them to have a decent budget. I can't work with someone who their revenue is only like 10K a month. I have to work with someone who has a solid amount of revenue and has a solid business strategy. Secondly, industry. I like picking marketing and advertising and real estate because that's just where my services thrive, and I've worked with these industries before, so I'm more familiar with working with these kinds of clients. And those are all of my filters. Now, you can see that Apollo gave us a ton of leads. We have a total of 6.4K. I already have 55 saved because that's going to be the leads that we'll be using for today's purpose. But if you want to get your own, you can just come here, hit apply as many as you can. I think the max for a free account is 100 per month, so go ahead and do 100 and then export. And then I would import it into a Google Sheet. Now, this is my lead sheet where I imported from Apollo. It gives you a ton of data, but for today's purpose, all we're going to need is their name, phone number, and their email. So I like to duplicate the sheet and delete all the useless information because eventually we'll be bringing this into make.com, and the more data just confuses make.com. It's just more stuff to work with, so I like to simplify it. Next step, we're going to move to VAPI. If you don't already have a VAPI account, go ahead and make one. It is also completely free. You can get it's charged by minutes, and you can also get a lot of minutes for completely free, just like make.com and Apollo. So go ahead and make an account and then move over to assistants and hit create new assistant. Alright, so we're in this tab. I'm okay with using OpenAI. I'm okay with using GPT-4o. If you want, you can choose a different one. If you want one that acts faster, maybe you want one that's cheaper, you can choose your best. But I'm okay with this one. So, first message mode. This is going to be the first interaction that happens in the call. Does your assistant say hello? Does the client have to say hello? What's going to happen? Now, we're going to do assistant waits for user because since we're cold calling and we're doing outbound, we want to call them, and the client should be the first one saying hello, picking up the phone, and then our assistant starts. So, first message, we'll mess with that in a little bit. Now, system prompt. This is very important. You have to nail this. And since we have to nail this, we're going to use ChatGPT to make our system prompt. This is going to be the prompt that I'm going to use for ChatGPT. Now, it says build a system prompt for a VAPI assistant that cold calls a bunch of leads for me. The assistant's name is Cole, and I want his main goal to be to book a discovery meeting so the prospect can see what processes Perennial can automate for them. Ask me any and all questions you need to build the best system prompt. Let's break this down real quick. First of all, I say the main goal is to book a discovery call because that's for my business. The first thing I have to do is learn about a business to see what processes I can actually automate. Now, obviously fix this and change it to your business or to your agency, whatever you're selling. So you're going to have to cater this to yourself. And I like to add the ask me and any and all questions because there's just a lot of information that we do not think about. And I like to ask ChatGPT that so it can give me the absolute best response. So let's go ahead and submit this and see what it gives us. Okay, so it worked. We got a ton of questions. Let's go through my response to this prompt. Firstly, it asked me what kind of leads are we going to be calling. I told it the industry, real estate, and marketing as we know. It asked me what kind of tone I want Cole to have, professional, confident, and like he has a true interest in helping the business owner he is calling. Key value proposition. It gave me automation efficiency, cost reduction, time saving. I said all of the above. I want you to come up with all the objections Cole might have to handle. It asked me what kind of objection handling Cole might have to face. I want ChatGPT to come up with all of those because I can't come up with every single objection that this caller might face. I said that I want him to say that the discovery meeting's purpose is to find if the business needs automation, if at all, and if automation can genuinely benefit them. That's what I want the pitch to be all about. I don't want him to follow up. We're going to set up a follow-up through make.com. Tone of the call, I gave it professional advisor, and I didn't give it any more additional details. So let's see what it gives us back to this. Now, it gave us a pretty decent prompt, but we're going to edit it just a little bit. So within our make.com tutorial, we're going to be setting up so that before the agent ever even calls the lead, it actually first emails them. I like to do this because this sets up a more warm introduction. If I get on a call with someone and say, hey, this is out of the blue, can you set up this meeting? Or if I say, hey, I emailed you earlier today, I don't know if you got a chance to get to it. If you didn't, can we chat about it real quick if you have 2 seconds? I'd love to dive deep into it. That gives a more relationship, a more stronger feel, as if they kind of already know me, because I've already emailed them and they should have already seen it, so they should kind of already know who I am. So I like to set that up, and we are going to be setting that up through make.com. So we're going to tell ChatGPT to add that. Alright, so this was my response. Before Cole actually calls anyone, the lead will already have an email from us in their inbox. I want the introduction of the call to go off of the fact that we sent them an email already. So say something like, hey, I sent you an email earlier today. Don't know if you got a chance to check it out yet, but if you didn't, do you have 2 seconds to chat about it? Now I'm going to give this to ChatGPT and see what reformatting it does to our script. Now, I always like to read the introduction because that's the most important part. I sent you an email today about how we help businesses like yours automate and streamline. See, for me, that sounds a little too salesy. If I was getting that cold call, I would already know that he's trying to sell me on something. When in reality, that's not the goal. We actually just want to book a meeting with them. We don't even want to sell them on anything that day. So let's change that up a little bit. That's all I'm going to give ChatGPT. We'll see what it gives us back. So it seems that ChatGPT has a wrong idea of what's actually in the email that we send them pre-call. So I went ahead and told it what the email's about, so that it has a better idea of what Cole should say. Okay, here's the introduction to give us. Hi, this is Cole from Perennial Technologies. That's all good. I sent you an email earlier today regarding the overall efficiency of your industry and how many businesses are still handling a lot of things manually. Not sure if you had a chance to check it out yet, but if not, do you have a quick minute to chat about it? I don't mind that. Let's go ahead and copy all of this, boom, and paste it into VAPI. Now, we're going to copy this because this is our first message. And we're going to paste it right here. Done with that. Alright, moving on. Max tokens, 250 is fine. This will change depending on the duration of the call. Tokens are usually measured in how much Cole actually speaks, how many words he actually says. So we're going to leave that at 250. I don't mind that. Temperature, 0.5 is good. If you don't know what temperature is, it's essentially a scale of how creative the AI is. How rigid does it fit your instructions, or how much does it bounce off of them and kind of go on its own way. 0.5 is fine as well. Voice, I like Harry. We're going to do that one. there is one more I want to set up, voicemail detection. I do want it to know if there's a voicemail a lot, because if it is a voicemail, we don't want make.com to go through that call transcript, because there's not going to be anything in it. So we do want voicemail detection on. And that is it for VAPI. Pretty easy. I mean, you guys can see that only took me like 10 minutes to do all of it, including behind the scenes work. So next step is to move to make.com. Now, make.com is obviously where the majority of everything is going to be built. Our first thing that we're going to need is our Google Sheets. We're going to need to get our leads from the Google Sheet. So I'm going to choose the Google Sheet module, do search rows. I already have my connection. We're going to search up Miami, because that's what the sheet is called. We want copy of sheet 1, because you can see that where the filtered leads, it's on copy of sheet 1. That's the one that we want. A through Z is all we need. We don't want any filters. It can order it however. Now for testing purposes, I'm just going to do 1 for now. We're going to save that. We're going to run it and make sure we get a lead. That all looks good. Next step is to set up the email sender, because remember, before Cole actually calls the lead, we want an email to be in their inbox so we have something to work with. So we're going to set up an email module. We're going to do send an email. Now, this email module can get a little bit tricky if you want to send it from a Gmail account. The Gmail account module is pretty difficult to set up. The whole thing that it's worked off of is Google Workspace, and a lot of people don't have Google Workspace just because it's a personal email account. So I suggest using a different domain email if you have it. If you don't, you can set up the Google account, and make.com, it has the resources for that in their help documents, and you can do that. But for today's purpose, we're going to be using our own email. This is going to be the Perennial email. So who do we want this to? We want it to the email of the lead. We want our subject to be focus on high ROI tasks. Now, remember, the email, don't stress about it. Most likely nobody's actually going to click this before hopping on the call. This is more so just so Cole has something to work with on the call, and it's not a completely frigid, cold lead. So don't stress too much about it. But regardless, here is our email. Hey there, I want to discuss with you guys the overall efficiency in your industry. The business is growing right now. Aren't working harder. They've just automated the back end. Lead capture, follow-ups, onboarding, reporting, all happening while their team focuses on strategy and client results. Meanwhile, others are stuck doing everything manually, slower to respond, harder to scale, and constantly playing catch-up. At Perennial, we help businesses like yours streamline ops with custom automations, blah, 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 blah. The whole point is that I'm not stressing too much about the email. Nobody's actually going to read it. We just want something with Cole to work off of. Now, next step, I like to put a wait module right here, because we don't want Cole to immediately call them right after the email. If the chances that they are looking at their inbox, it'd be nice if they already looked at the email, because then Cole has even something better to work with. So I like to set it to the max duration of 5 minutes. Now, next step is to actually call them. Lucky for us, because make.com is so great, we have an integrated VAPI module already here, so this makes it super easy for us. Next step is to actually call the lead. Now, since make.com is so great, we have a VAPI module already built into it. So we're going to go ahead and use that. We're going to create an outbound phone call, because that's what this is. And now to set up your My VAPI connection, it's super easy. All you have to do is hit add, label it, and copy your API key. Your API keys live here. There's already one created for you. All you gotta do is copy and paste it, and you'll have your connection set up. Now, which assistant I want to pick? I want to do Perennial Outreacher Demo, because that's what we called our assistant right here. Now, let's backtrack. I didn't cover this. Your phone number, you have to set it up within VAPI. This is the phone number that I have for the one for us to use today. It's super easy to set up. VAPI gives you 10 free phone numbers, so it doesn't even cost anything. You can pick whatever one you want. All you have to do is create phone number, fill out some information, and boom, you have one. So I'm going to use this one. It's called Perennial Outreacher, so we're going to select that one just like that. And now it's asking if we want to do multiple calls or just one. We're just going to do one. And what's their phone number? that one. All right, for testing purposes, I'm gonna put my actual phone number in here so we can see that it actually works. So get in the call again, put it on speaker so you guys can hear it. Hello?
Hey there, this is Cole from Perennial Technologies. I sent you an email earlier today and just wanted to follow up. Did you get a chance to take a look at it?
I didn't get a chance to, no.
No worries at all. Do you have a quick second to chat, or are you in the middle of something?
It depends. What is this about?
It's about improving the efficiency of your business. I've looked into your industry a bit, and a lot of companies like yours are still doing lead gen, follow-ups, and internal tasks manually. I build automation systems that take those repetitive things off your plate.
Wait. How much is this going to cost?
The discovery call is completely free. It's just a chance to understand how you're operating and see if automation can help. Would you like me to send you a link to book a quick time?
Yes, please.
Goodbye.
All right, you can see the hang up was a little bit rigid there. We can change that later. But pretty much overall, that was pretty good. It gave us our pitch. It didn't sound too salesy. The voice sounded okay, and he handled my interruption well. I asked how much it cost. He handled that well too. So, but now that we went through that call, we should have a full call transcript to pull. We can go ahead and run it, see if it pulls our transcript. And there it is. Here is our transcript. Hello. No worries at all. I didn't get a chance to do it. No. Yep, this is our exact. See, this is my interruption right here. This is our exact call transcript. So now that we have our transcript, I want to analyze whether the lead actually sounded interested, whether he wanted us to send that link, whether he just wanted us to piss off, or if he wanted to follow up. So to do that analyzation, I'm going to use a ChatGPT module. Now, I am going to use this connection. You can set up this connection as well. ChatGPT, OpenAI connections are pretty easy to set up. You have to create an account. I think there's a free version. You can use ChatGPT 3.5. I have the paid version to use 4.0, but you don't need it. And once you do that, copy your API keys, pretty much the same as VAPI, and go ahead and paste it in here. But we're going to leave that as create a chat completion. I'm going to use 4.0 because that's my favorite model, GPT 4.0. It's going to load a little bit. Now we're going to add our two messages. First, we're going to do developer/system, and then user. Developer/system is our system prompt. That's telling ChatGPT what we actually want it to do. And then user is our data that ChatGPT needs to respond to our prompt. So obviously, it's going to need our transcript. So I'm going to search that up right there. And then I'm going to select this one because this is our actual transcript. We will paste that right there. And then I'm going to tell ChatGPT what this is. Call transcript. Now, I already have this whole system prompt built out, but basically, it's pretty simple. I'll paste it right here for you guys and show you what it says. You are a classification assistant that reviews call transcripts from a cold calling assistant named Cole. Your job is to determine the outcome of the call based on the conversation. I gave it 3 options. They want the discovery call, they're not interested, or they want to follow up. That's if somebody said, yeah, call me back later. That's if somebody said, send me more info, etc. So at least I can deal with that. Now, this is telling it what to exactly do, but after that we can move on. You can see that this prompt is pretty easy. Again, I use ChatGPT to actually make the prompt for ChatGPT, so you can do that yourself too. And we already set that up. We don't need any images. Now, our max completion, we're just going to set to 500. Even that's a bit much, but it's a pretty simple thing to do. Response format, we're going to leave as text. Now, temperature. This part is important. We want this thing to be very rigid. We don't want it coming up with its own ideas. We don't want it getting creative on us. We want it to answer those 3 options, and that's it. So we are going to set temperature as low as possible to 0.1. Now, let's go here. I'm going to copy our call transcript like that, paste the transcript, and see what answer it gives us. Now, remember, in that call, I did say, yeah, go ahead and send me the link at the end. So, and it worked. Book discovery call. So, now that we have what that response is and we know that that's working, we have to set up a router. The reason that we need this is because we need ChatGPT to react differently depending on how the client or the lead reacted on the call. So, first one is obviously going to be they want the call booked. So, we are going to copy ChatGPT's response. We want ChatGPT's result to be equal to that if it does that, and we'll go ahead and label it the same thing. Now we know if ChatGPT comes back with book discovery call, it's going to take this route. Now I'm going to set it up for the other two options. Alright, so I set up those other two filters, and now we have all our options done. Now, next step, if they actually wanted to book a discovery call, what we have to do is send them the Calendly link. To do that, we're going to be using Twilio today. Let's hit Twilio and let's do send a message. Send a message. Scroll right past it. There it is. Now, our Twilio connection. Same thing as all the other ones. Copy your API key, paste it in here. And to actually set up your Twilio console, this is unfortunately one of our not free options. It's not expensive, but it's not free. I think it's only like 2 cents for every message you send. So it's going to be super cheap depending on how many leads you actually use. But other than that, it's pretty much free. Now, you need to set up your phone number. I set up this one not too long ago, so I'm actually still going through the verification, but once it's done, we can actually send messages with it. So apologies, today we're not going to be able to receive a message from it, but it's pretty foolproof. As soon as this is verified, it'll be able to send messages. So let's go ahead and modify this. We want it to send from a phone number, and we want that phone number to be the 844 that we set up, just right here, 844-503. And we want it to be to the client. So we're going to find our Google Sheets and copy their phone number. Now, we are going to create the message body, book the discovery call here. And then we're going to copy our discovery call link. I use Calendly, easy, cheap, sets it up pretty foolproof, builds a Google Meet meeting for you, which is nice too. And I'm going to paste that link here and tell them we are looking forward to it, because I will be. And we'll save that. So now, if they booked a discovery call, now it actually sends them a text for them to do that. Now, I like to collect all of the data that it gives us, so I'm going to update the Google Sheet that we have. Let's do update. We're going to go here, Miami, boom. Sheet name, copy of sheet 1, row number. Now, which row do I want it to edit? I want it to edit the lead of the one that we actually use. So let's scroll all the way down here and grab the row number from the Google Sheet. Yes, this table contains headers. Now, I don't want it to edit any of this stuff. I want it to put in here, we're going to put their ChatGPT results, so it'll tell me if they actually wanted to book the discovery call. Now, this one's so simple, we can actually clone it to the other ones because we're going to need it for those two. Next one is not interested. This one's pretty easy. If they just blew off coal, I'm not going to bother them again. So the only thing we'll actually need to do is to set up the Google Sheet and just update it. But the last one, follow-up. This is where things get a little bit customized. Now, it is possible to automate this process as well, but since I'm only going to be doing 50 leads per day, I think it's going to be pretty easy for me to handle this on my own. So if a client wants something specific, they have specific questions, I'm not going to automate it. I'd prefer to answer it myself. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have it send me a notification to my phone so that I know that a client has something that they want me to talk about to them, and it's more custom to their situation. So this is also super easy to set up. You put your iCloud. If you don't have an Apple device, you can use a messaging system, Discord, Slack, whatever you want to do. It can send you a text. But since I have an Apple phone, I'm just going to use this. It's pretty easy to set up. You just type in your iCloud password and email, and you're all done with that. Title, I want it to be that I have to follow up with a lead. And the body, we're going to do, I want their phone number so that I can actually contact them. And we'll paste that right here. And then I also want to know what the call transcript was so that I can actually see what they said on the call, and I want to know what they want to talk about. So we'll go here and I will find my transcript. I prefer to just search it. There's so much stuff there. Transcript. There we go. Why did it paste it there? There we go. Boom. So now if we do get a client that wants something specific answered, it'll just tell me. I'll have their phone number and the call transcript to review so I know what they actually want. And same thing, end it with a Google Sheet, update it on the row. And that is it, believe it or not, for our make.com scenario. Let's go over it real quick. We collect our leads, we send them an email, we wait 5 minutes, Cole calls them, then we wait 5 more minutes while Cole's actually on the call, then we pull the transcript from that call, ChatGPT reviews it, it tells us whether the client was interested, not interested, or they have a specific question. Depending on what ChatGPT's response is, it goes through one of these scenarios. Alright, now for testing purposes, I moved this to 20 seconds because that's all the time I need to look for the email. And I set this to 120 because I'd imagine that's the max this call is going to go through. Now, when it calls me, I'm going to try and get it to go through the follow-up funnel because remember, I don't have my phone number set up yet, and not interested just isn't going to help anyone. Let's just do the follow-up. So let's go ahead and start this and see what it does. So it says that it sent me the email. And this is the email that it sent, remember, from Perennial Tech, hey there, all that stuff. Remember, this isn't very important. The client's not actually going to be looking at this, so don't stress too much about the email. Move back here, and let's wait for it to call me. And there we go. We're getting the call from Cole. So let's see what it says. Hello.
Hey there, this is Cole from Perennial Technologies. I sent you an email earlier today and just wanted to follow up. Did you get a chance to take a look at it?
No, I didn't.
No worries at all. Do you have a quick second to chat, or are you in the middle of something?
You know what? I'm kind of busy. How about we follow up later? Go ahead and send me the message, and I'll call you guys back later.
No problem at all. I'll send you a quick text with our calendar link so you can book a time that works for you. Thanks for your time, and I look forward to speaking with you soon.
Thank you. Alright, so I pretty much purposely tried to set it down. The follow-up funnel call went pretty well, I would say. And again, if you're actually going to be deploying this, bouncing back from your system prompt in ChatGPT, constantly replacing it, making it better, making improvements, going through the call, testing it, trying to break the phone, and trying to break Cole and see how you can break them down and make ChatGPT make those improvements to the prompt and change it like that. Now we're going to wait for the sleep tool to end. It's going to pull our transcript, review it, and so forth. So wait for that to happen. All right, so it's finished with the follow-up. Now it went ahead and reviewed the transcript. ChatGPT reviewed it. You can see it resulted with follow-up. It went down this funnel, and it sent me that push notification. You can see it's right there at the bottom. You probably can't read it because of the glare, but it says phone number is for actually I shouldn't say that. Shouldn't tell you guys my phone number. And it gave me the call transcript. So let's see if it updated our row. And boom, we can see over here it actually added follow-up to our row. So everything worked smoothly. Alright guys, that's a wrap up for today's video and tutorial. Thank you all for watching. Go out and utilize this absolute gold that I gave you. This is an extremely useful automation when used right. Some companies would pay thousands to get this built in hand. I am handing you the keys to it for absolutely free. Remember, if you don't want to go through the hassle of doing this and building this for your own business, you can check out the link in the description and Perennial will build and implement it for you. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.